The massive ship of Admiral Xorlath hung in the darkness of space. Its metal skin glowed faintly against the black. Xorlath stood tall, his blue skin tight against his face as he stared at the blue planet on the main screen. "Another primitive world to add to our collection," he said. His voice was cold and flat. The Vraki Dominion had conquered hundreds of worlds. Earth would be just one more. "Admiral, there is something strange about this planet," said Officer Mevran. Her fingers moved quickly over the control panel. "Their technology readings do not match their development level." Orlath waved a hand with long, thin fingers. "They haven't even built proper colonies on their moon. They are nothing." On Earth, in a deep underground base beneath the Rocky Mountains, Dr. Elena Chen watched her screens with worried eyes. The alien ships had appeared suddenly at the edge of their solar system, exactly as her father had predicted 20 years ago. "They're here," she said simply. General Wade stood beside her, his face hard as stone. "How many?" he asked. 300 warships at least. Biggest one is near Saturn." Wade nodded once. "Activate Project Sentinel. Level 1 only." Elena's hands shook slightly as she pressed her palm against the scanner. A hidden panel slid open, revealing a crystal key. "My father knew they would come," she whispered. 20 years ago, Dr. James Chen had found something in Antarctica. Something not from Earth. He had learned their language, understood their technology. Then he disappeared, leaving only his research and a warning. "They will come. We must be ready." Nobody had believed him then. But the world governments had still built Project Sentinel, just in case. In space, Admiral Xorlath sent a message to the Vraki High Command. "Primitive planet located. Resources abundant. Native species appears technologically limited. Beginning standard conquest protocol." His second in command, Trevnar, approached with caution. "Admiral, our deep scans show unusual energy signatures throughout their solar system. Perhaps we should." "Enough." Xorlath snapped. "I have conquered worlds far more advanced than this one. Send the diplomatic vessel. Let them see our greatness before they surrender." On Earth, the world leaders gathered in an emergency meeting. President Santos of the United Earth Alliance spoke first. "They don't know what we have. Dr. Chen's father gave us 20 years to prepare." "Should we show our true technology?" asked the European Chancellor. General Wade stood up. "No, let them think we're weak. It's our only advantage." In her lab, Elena activated the final systems of Project Sentinel. Hidden satellites throughout the solar system came alive, but remained in stealth mode. "The diplomatic vessel will reach Earth in 6 hours, her assistant said. Elena nodded. She opened her father's journal to the last page he had written. "Remember, the technology isn't meant to destroy. It's meant to protect. Humanity must prove itself worthy." She closed the book and looked at the approaching ship on her screen. "Let's hope we are worthy, Dad," she whispered. "Because they're already here." The Vraki diplomatic ship landed at the agreed location, a flat desert plain outside of New Mexico. Dust swirled around its sleek metal body as it settled on the ground. The ship towered over the small human welcoming party. Ambassador Carroll stepped out, flanked by 4 armed guards. He was tall and thin like all Vraki, with blue-tinted skin that shimmered in the sunlight. His eyes, completely black, looked down at the humans with obvious disdain. "I speak for the Vraki Dominion," Carl announced. His translator device made his voice sound metallic. "We claim this world as ours." Commander Jackson Wade stepped forward. Unlike the other officials who looked nervous, he appeared calm. His military uniform was simple, his posture straight. "Earth welcomes you," Wade said, "but we do not accept your claim." Carell made a sound like laughter. "You misunderstand. This is not a negotiation. The Dominion has claimed 300 worlds before yours. None resist us for long." Behind Wade, Dr. Elena Chen watched carefully. She held a small device in her hand, scanning the aliens and their technology. Each reading was being sent directly to Project Sentinel's main computer. "How many ships do you have?" Wade asked. 300 warships wait beyond your moon, Carl said proudly, each capable of destroying your largest cities in seconds. Your primitive weapons cannot harm them. Wade nodded as if considering this information. "I see. And if we refuse to surrender?" The Vreki ambassador's mouth formed what might have been a smile. "Then we will take this world by force. Your species will serve the Dominion or be eliminated." Alina's device beeped softly. She had all the data she needed. She gave Wade a small nod. "Ambassador Carl," Wade said, his voice suddenly firm. "Leave our solar system immediately. This is your only warning." The Vraki delegation broke into what sounded like laughter. Carl's black eyes narrowed. "You dare threaten the Dominion? You haven't even colonized your own moon." He pointed to the sky. "Our fleet could turn your world to ash." Wade didn't smile. "We've given our warning. What happens next is your choice." Back in their ship, Carl spoke to Admiral Xorlath through a communication screen. "These humans are either brave or stupid," he said. "Most likely stupid." Xorlath nodded. "Did you detect any advanced weapons or technology?" "Nothing. Their vehicles still use combustion engines. Their satellites are primitive. They haven't even developed proper energy shields." "Then we proceed as planned. Return to the fleet." In the underground base, Alina uploaded her scan data to the Sentinel system. Her team worked quickly around her. "They're exactly as my father described," she said to Wade. "Overconfident, technological, ruthless." Wade looked at the main screen showing the Vriki ship taking off. "How long until the Sentinel array is fully operational?" he asked. 24 hours, Alina answered. "All hidden satellites are in position throughout the solar system. The final calibrations are running now." Wade nodded. "What about your father's notes? Any mention of what will happen when we activate it?" Alina touched the small pendant around her neck, her father's last gift before he disappeared. "He only wrote that it would open the doorway when the time was right." On the main screen, they watched the Vraki diplomatic ship vanish into the sky. "Let's hope your father was right," Wade said. "They'll be back tomorrow with their entire fleet." Alina looked at the activation key in her hand. "And we'll be ready." Admiral Xorlath stood on the bridge of his massive flagship, the Dominion's pride. The blue planet Earth filled the main view screen. He studied the reports about the planet with growing confidence. "These humans are even more primitive than we thought," he said to his officers. "Their strongest weapons use nuclear fission. Their space vessels can barely reach their own moon." His second-in-command, Trevnar, looked troubled. "Admiral, I've detected unusual energy patterns throughout their solar system. Something doesn't match our initial scans." Xorlath waved a dismissive hand. "Probably natural phenomena. The humans clearly lack advanced technology." "But Admiral..." "Enough," Xorlath snapped. "I've conquered worlds for 30 cycles. Do you think a species that still fights among themselves could possibly challenge us?" On Earth, chaos seemed to spread. News channels showed people fleeing cities. Military vehicles filled the streets. World leaders made desperate speeches about standing together against the alien threat. But underground, beneath the Mariana Trench in a facility unknown to the public, the real work happened. "Status report," Alina demanded as she entered the control room. Scientists and military personnel moved with purpose around her. "Sentinel satellites are fully operational," reported her assistant, Dr. Patel. "All 10,000 units are in position and cloaked." Alina nodded. "And the lunar base?" "Commander Wade arrived there an hour ago. The command center is ready." Alina turned to the main screen showing the approaching Vraki fleet. They were moving into formation, preparing for their attack. Just as her father had predicted. "I need to check something," she said suddenly. "I'll be in my father's old lab." In a small room filled with her father's research, Alina searched through his notes. She found a sealed box she had never opened, marked with today's date. Inside was a data crystal and a handwritten note. When the time comes, go to Antarctica. Find me. Her hands trembled. Find me. Dad, what did you do? Meanwhile, aboard the Vraki flagship, Trevnar conducted his own private investigation. The readings from Earth bothered him. He accessed the ship's deep scanning systems without the Admiral's knowledge. Computer, analyze these energy signatures around Earth, he whispered. The computer worked silently. Then the results appeared on his screen. Trevnar's eyes widened in shock. This can't be right, he muttered. If these readings are correct, then... Preparing for the Admiral's briefing, asked a voice behind him. Trevnar quickly closed the screen and turned to see Commander Velox watching him. Yes, just routine checks, Trevnar lied. On the bridge, Admiral Xorlath addressed his fleet commanders through holographic projections. Tomorrow we take this world, he said confidently. Our scans show their military is mobilizing, but they have nothing that can harm our ships. We will target their major cities first, then their military bases. One commander asked, what about the warning they gave us? Left laughed. Empty words from a desperate species. By tomorrow night, Earth will belong to the Dominion. In her father's lab, Alina inserted the data crystal into a reader. A holographic message appeared. Her father's face, but somehow different, changed. Alina, if you're watching this, they've come, he said. Remember, the Sentinel isn't just a weapon. It's a key, a doorway. Trust me and come to Antarctica. Humanity's future depends on it. The message ended, leaving Alina with more questions than answers. But one thing was clear. Time was running out. Morning arrived with the Vraki fleet moving into Earth's orbit. Their massive ships blocked out the sun in some areas, casting large shadows on the cities below. Earth's defense satellites were the first to go. The Vraki destroyed them with quick, precise shots. People watched in horror as their communication systems failed one by one. Admiral Xorlath smiled as he watched the destruction on his view screen. See how easily their defenses fall, he said to his officers. This planet will surrender before the day ends. But something made him cautious. Send only 50 ships for the first attack. Keep the rest of the fleet at the edge of the system. On his personal console, Trevnar continued to monitor the strange energy readings. They were getting stronger, but he kept this information to himself. On Earth, a desperate message was broadcast to the Vraki fleet. President Santos appeared on the screen, his face showing fear and defeat. People of Earth, he announced, we must consider the terms offered by the Vraki Dominion. Further resistance will only lead to more destruction. I am ordering our military forces to stand down. Admiral Xorlath laughed. As expected. Prepare a delegation to accept their surrender. Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean in the Mariana Command Center, President Santos stepped away from the camera. His expression changed from defeat to determination. How was my performance? He asked Commander Wade. Perfect, sir, Wade replied. The Vraki believe we're surrendering. Phase 1 is complete. Across the room, Alina was preparing for her journey. The Antarctic facility coordinates are locked in. My team is ready to depart. Wade looked concerned. Are you sure about this? Your father's message could be a trap. It's not, Alina said firmly. He knew exactly when the Vraki would arrive. He knew about Project Sentinel before we even built it. Whatever he found in Antarctica is the key to all of this. Wade nodded. Take the stealth transport. With the Vraki focused on our surrender, you should reach Antarctica undetected. A few hours later, the Vraki delegation landed at the United Nations headquarters in New York. Ambassador Carroll strutted confidently as he entered the building to meet with Earth's leaders. We accept your surrender, Carroll announced. The Dominion is generous to those who submit willingly. Commander Wade, representing Earth's military, bowed his head in apparent submission. We have prepared documents outlining Earth's resources and population centers to assist your transition. As the surrender meeting continued, No one noticed the countless microscopic satellites activating throughout the solar system. Each one no bigger than a grain of sand, they formed an invisible web around the planet. In her stealth transport flying over the frozen wasteland of Antarctica, Alina studied her father's notes. The final piece was a strange diagram showing what looked like a doorway between stars. "What did you find down here, Dad?" she whispered. As Carol and his delegation returned to their ships, satisfied with Earth's surrender, Admiral Xorlath gave the order for the main fleet to advance. "The planet is ours," he announced. "Bring the fleet in for the occupation." Trevnar looked up from his console, his face troubled. "Admiral, I strongly recommend we scan the system again before." "Your caution borders on cowardice," Xorlath snapped. "The humans have surrendered. Their primitive technology poses no threat." As the massive Vraki fleet began moving toward Earth, the microscopic satellites pulsed with energy, undetected but ready. As the main Vraki fleet moved toward Earth, something strange began to happen. Their ships started to drift off course. Navigation systems showed errors. Some smaller vessels collided with each other. "What is happening?" Admiral Xorlath demanded, gripping his command chair as his flagship shuddered. "Unknown gravitational anomalies, Admiral," an officer reported. "They're appearing throughout the system. Our sensors didn't detect them before." Trevnar stepped forward. "This is what I tried to warn you about. The energy readings I detected." "Silence," Xorlath shouted, but his confidence was shaken. "Stabilize our position. Find the source of these anomalies." In the Lunar Command Center, Commander Wade watched the chaos unfold on the main screen. "Dr. Chen's Sentinel Phase 1 is working perfectly," he said to his officers. "The Vraki fleet is in disarray." "Sir, incoming transmission from the Vraki flagship," reported a communications officer. Admiral Xorlath's angry face appeared on screen. "What trickery is this, humans? You claim to surrender." Wade smiled coldly. "We accepted no terms, Admiral, and we warned you to leave our system. You dare deceive the Dominion. Your primitive technology cannot save you." "Primitive?" Wade laughed. "You've seen only what we wanted you to see." Across Earth, military bases revealed hidden technologies. Advanced fighters with impossible maneuverability launched into the sky. Weapons platforms emerged from ocean depths. Defensive shields shimmered into existence over major cities. In Antarctica, Alina's transport landed near a massive ice shelf. Her team quickly set up equipment to scan the area. "The entrance should be right here," she said, checking her father's coordinates. "But I don't see anything." One of her team members, Dr. Park, pointed to a strange pattern in the ice. "Look at how the light bends there. It's some kind of camouflage field." Alina approached the spot carefully. As she reached out her hand, it disappeared into what looked like solid ice. "It's a holographic projection," she whispered. "Dad, you clever man." In space, the Vraki fleet tried to regroup. Admiral Xorlath was furious. "Launch all fighters. Target their major cities. Show these humans the cost of their deception." But the Vraki ships struggled against invisible forces pulling them in different directions. Earth's hidden defense grid was fully active now, creating localized gravity wells that disrupted the alien vessels. "This is impossible," Xorlath muttered. "How could they have this technology? They were supposed to be primitive." Trevnar studied his console. "Admiral, I believe they found the Forerunner technology." "What? How do you know about?" "The energy signature matches ancient records. If humans have adapted Forerunner technology, they may be more dangerous than we thought." On the lunar base, Commander Wade received a transmission from Alina in Antarctica. "Wade, I found it," she said, her voice filled with awe. "It's not just a base. I can't even describe it. There's technology here unlike anything we've seen, and signs that my father is still alive." "What about the final phase of Project Sentinel? Can you activate it from there?" "Yes, but..." Alina hesitated. "According to these readings, it's not what we thought." Dad's notes call it a dimensional anchor. It doesn't just destroy, Wade. It shifts matter between dimensions. In orbit, Admiral Ktorlath made a desperate decision. All ships, full attack. Overwhelm their defenses with everything we have. The Vreki fleet pushed forward against the gravitational disruptions, determined to crush Earth once and for all. They had no idea what was coming. The sky filled with Vreki fighters as they descended toward Earth, their weapons charged, ready to reduce cities to ash. Admiral Ktorlath watched from his flagship, certain that superior numbers would overwhelm whatever tricks the humans had planned. "Let them feel the might of the Dominion," he ordered. But as the fighters entered Earth's atmosphere, they met unexpected resistance. Human aircraft appeared from hidden mountain bases and rose from underwater facilities. They moved in ways that defied normal physics, making impossible turns and accelerations. "What are those things?" a Vreki pilot shouted before his ship was struck by a beam of blue energy. From his command center on the hidden orbital platform, Commander Wade coordinated Earth's defense. The platform had been disguised as a piece of space junk for years, invisible to Vreki scans. "Delta Squadron, protect the Pacific Shield generators. Alpha Team, engage the enemy fighters over Europe," he ordered. A young officer looked up from her console. "Sir, the enemy flagship is breaking through our gravity disruption field. It's heading directly for us." Wade's face hardened. "They found us. Activate defensive shields. Prepare for direct assault." In Antarctica, Elena walked through corridors of technology that seemed to glow with inner light. The walls were covered with symbols similar to those in her father's notes. Every surface hummed with power. "This technology is thousands of years beyond anything we've developed," Dr. Park said in awe. Elena nodded, "And my father somehow learned to use it." They reached a large circular chamber with a crystal platform at its center. Above it floated a holographic display of the solar system, showing the positions of all Vreki ships and Earth's defenses. "The central control room," Elena whispered. As she stepped onto the platform, the display changed, showing a man's face. Her father. "Elena," the image said, "you made it." Her eyes widened. "Dad, is this a recording?" The image smiled. "No, I'm here, though not in the way you remember me. I merged with the Forerunner technology. It was the only way to understand it completely." "Merged? How is that possible?" "There's no time to explain. The Vreki must be stopped. They've misused Forerunner technology for centuries, taking what was meant to connect worlds and using it to conquer them instead." In space, Admiral Ktorlath's flagship pushed through Earth's defenses, firing continuous beams at the orbital platform. The shields around Wade's command center flickered under the assault. "Shields at 40%, reported an officer. "We can't take much more of this." Wade opened a channel to Antarctica. "Dr. Chen, whatever you're going to do with that Sentinel technology, now would be a good time." In the control chamber, Elena's father showed her how to activate the final phase. "The Sentinel array isn't a weapon," he explained. "It's a dimensional gateway. The Forerunners built it to test species, to see if they would use it for protection or destruction. And the Vreki failed this test," Elena realized. "Yes, but humanity has a chance to pass it." On his flagship, Admiral Ktorlath prepared for the final blow against the human command center. "Target their main power core," he ordered. "End this resistance once and for all." Trevnar noticed something on his scanner. "Admiral, energy readings from the southern polar region are increasing exponentially. I've never seen anything like it." Ktorlath ignored him. "Fire everything we have. Destroy them." As the Vreki weapons charged, Elena placed her hand on the crystal console in Antarctica. The entire chamber glowed with blinding light. "Let's show them why they should have listened to our warning," she said. Admiral Ktorlath had not conquered 100 worlds by being stupid. As his flagship shook from Earth's counterattacks, he studied the patterns of the human defenses. They were strong but not perfect. I see it now, he said quietly. Their power comes in waves. There's a 3-second gap between energy pulses. He turned to his weapons officer. Time all shots to hit during the gap. Tell all ships to do the same. The Vraki fleet adjusted their attack pattern. Suddenly, their weapons began breaking through Earth's defenses. One by one, the human defense stations took damage. In the orbital command center, alarms blared as systems failed. They'd figured out the timing of our defense grid, Commander Wade said grimly. Evacuate all non-essential personnel. An officer looked up in shock. Sir, we can't abandon the station. This isn't abandonment, it's strategy, Wade replied calmly. Order all forces to fall back to the secondary defense line. Make it look like we're retreating. On his flagship, Admiral Xorlath watched with satisfaction as the humans appeared to flee. They break so easily, he said. Push forward. Destroy their command center. Trevnar approached the Admiral carefully. Sir, I've analyzed the energy signature from the southern pole. It matches ancient warnings about dimensional technology, if it activates fully. It won't, Xorlath snapped. We'll destroy it first. He turned to his communications officer. Send a strike team to their southern polar region. Target whatever is generating that energy. In Antarctica, Alina worked quickly with her father to prepare the Sentinel Array's final phase. The dimensional anchor needs to be precisely calibrated, her father explained. His form flickered between human and energy. If it's even slightly off, it won't work. The Vraki are breaking through our defenses, Alina said, watching the battle on the holographic display. We need more time. Her father's expression grew serious. There's only one way to complete the calibration in time. Someone must go to the central core and align it manually. I'll go, Alina said immediately. It's dangerous. The person who goes may not return. Alina nodded. I understand. On the Vraki flagship, Trevnar slipped away from the bridge. In his private quarters, he activated a hidden communication device. This is Trevnar, he whispered. The Admiral has sent a strike team to your Antarctic facility. Their ships will arrive in 15 minutes. In the Lunar Command Center, Wade received the message with surprise. Who is this? How did you get this channel? There's no time to explain. The Admiral doesn't understand what he's facing. The Forerunner technology cannot be destroyed, or it will tear a hole in space-time itself. Why are you helping us? There was a pause. Because my people were once peaceful. The Dominion has forgotten that. Your species deserves the chance we never had. Trevnar quickly ended the transmission and returned to the bridge. Admiral Xorlath was giving orders for the final assault. All ships converge on Earth. Target their major population centers. Show no mercy. In Antarctica, Alina prepared for her dangerous mission to the core. Her father gave her final instructions. Once you align the crystal, you'll have 30 seconds to get out before the energy field stabilizes. Alina hugged her father's flickering form. And if I don't make it out in time? He couldn't meet her eyes. Then you'll become like me, part of the system itself. As Alina headed toward the core chamber, the first explosions rocked the facility. The Vraki strike team had arrived. The walls of the Antarctic facility shook as Vraki weapons hit the outer shields. Alina ran through the glowing corridors toward the central core, while Dr. Park and the security team prepared to defend the entrance. How long can the shields hold? Alina asked through her communication device. 10 minutes, maybe less, Dr. Park replied. The Vraki brought heavy weapons. In the main chamber, Alina's father, or what remained of him, monitored the battle above. The Vraki fleet is pushing past Earth's defenses. Commander Wade's forces are retreating to the second defense line. Is that part of his plan? Alina asked. I hope so, her father answered. Alina, you need to hurry. The core chamber is 3 levels down. Alina reached a massive door with ancient symbols carved into its surface. As she approached, the symbols glowed, and the door slowly opened. Dad, I'm at the entrance, she said. What exactly am I looking for? A crystal column at the center. It needs to be rotated to align with the energy flow. You'll see marking lines that need to match up. As Elena entered the core chamber, she gasped. A pillar of pure energy rose from floor to ceiling. Inside it floated a crystal the size of a car, slowly rotating. "It's beautiful," she whispered. At that moment, the facility shook violently. They'd breached the outer shield. Dr. Park shouted through the communicator. "We're engaging the enemy, but there are too many of them." In space, Commander Wade watched as the Vraki fleet pressed its advantage. His forces continued to fall back, drawing the alien ships deeper into Earth's gravity well. "Sir," said his second-in-command, "the enemy is following our retreat exactly as predicted." Wade nodded. "Good. Keep them focused on us. Dr. Chen needs more time." On the Vraki flagship, Admiral Xorlath watched with satisfaction as the human forces retreated. "The great defenders of Earth run like cowards," he said. "Press the attack. Show no mercy." Trevnar looked at his private scanner. The energy readings from Antarctica were reaching critical levels. Whatever the humans planned, it was almost ready. "Admiral," he said cautiously, "perhaps we should hold some ships in reserve. The energy signature from the southern pole." "Your caution has become tiresome," Xorlath snapped. "All ships, advance." In the core chamber, Elena approached the crystal column. The energy surrounding it crackled and sparked. She could feel its power pulling at her, like gravity, but different. "I can see the alignment markers," she said. "They're misaligned by about 30 degrees. "You need to enter the energy field to rotate the crystal," her father explained. "It will change you, Elena, the same way it changed me." Elena took a deep breath. "Will it hurt?" There was silence for a moment. Yes. Above her, she could hear the sounds of battle. The Vreki strike team was fighting their way deeper into the facility. Time was running out. "Elena," her father said suddenly, "there's something I never told you. The Forerunners didn't just leave this technology as a test. They're still out there, watching. If humanity passes this test..." The communication cut off as another explosion rocked the facility. Elena looked at the swirling energy field and the crystal within. Earth's last hope. Well, she said to herself, only one way to find out what happens next. She stepped into the light. Pain unlike anything Elena had ever felt surged through her body as she entered the energy field. Every cell seemed to burn and freeze at the same time. Her vision blurred, filled with strange patterns and symbols she somehow understood. "Focus on the crystal," her father's voice echoed in her mind. "Don't lose yourself in the energy flow." With tremendous effort, Elena reached for the crystal. Her hands looked strange, glowing with the same energy that surrounded her. She grasped the crystal and began to turn it. In space, the entire Vraki fleet had pushed past Earth's outer defenses. Admiral Xorlath prepared for the final attack on the major cities. "Begin bombardment of their population centers," he ordered. "Show these humans the price of defiance." Suddenly, all communication systems activated at once. On every screen throughout the fleet appeared a single human face. "Commander Wade, Vraki fleet," he said calmly. "You were warned. Depart immediately or be destroyed." Admiral Xorlath laughed. "Your defenses are broken. Your weapons have failed. What could you possibly do to us now?" "This is your final warning," Wade replied. "Leave our solar system immediately. All ships," Xorlath commanded, "fire on the planet." In the Antarctic facility, Dr. Park and the last defenders were forced back to the main chamber. Vraki soldiers poured through the corridors, destroying everything in their path. "The strike team is almost at the core chamber," Dr. Park reported through his communicator. In the center of the facility, Elena's father watched the battle on multiple screens. His form flickered between human and pure energy. "They're too late," he said. "Elena's almost done." In the core chamber, Elena had turned the crystal almost to its final position. The energy field around her pulsed with increasing power. She felt her body changing, becoming less solid. Memories not her own flowed through her mind. The history of the Forerunners, their journey across galaxies, their tests for younger species. "Dad," she called out, her voice strange to her own ears. "I understand now. The Sentinel Array isn't just a defense system. It's a doorway to them." "Yes," her father replied. "The Forerunners watch and wait. They test species to see if they will use knowledge for protection or conquest." As Elena made the final adjustment to the crystal, the entire facility hummed with power. The microscopic satellites throughout the solar system pulsed in unison, creating a web of energy that connected them all. In Lunar Command, Wade watched as his screen showed the Sentinel Array reaching full power. "All Earth forces, pull back to minimum safe distance," he ordered. Then he opened a channel to the Vraki fleet one last time. "You were warned," he said simply. Admiral Xorlath ignored the message. "Fire all weapons. Destroy them." Trevnar made a decision. He quietly ordered his own ship to pull back from the main fleet. "Emergency retreat," he told his crew. Now, as the Vraki weapons powered up, Elena completed the crystal alignment. The energy field around her stabilized, and she felt a strange calm wash over her. She was still herself, but also something more, connected to the ancient technology in ways she couldn't fully comprehend. "It's done," she said. Throughout the solar system, the microscopic satellites glowed with blinding light. The Sentinel Array was fully activated. The Vraki had ignored Earth's final warning. And now, they would face the consequences. Admiral Xorlath stood on the bridge of his flagship, watching as his fleet positioned for the final attack on Earth. His weapons were charged, his victory certain. "All ships report ready, Admiral," his weapons officer announced. "Excellent. Begin planetary bombardment on my mark. 3, 2, 1. The Admiral never finished his countdown. Throughout the solar system, the microscopic satellites Elena had activated began to pulse with blinding energy. Lines of light connected them, forming a complex web surrounding the Vraki fleet. "What is happening?" Xorlath demanded as alarms blared across his ship. On his private scanner, Trevnar watched from a safe distance as energy readings spiked beyond anything he had ever seen. His ship continued to retreat, the only Vraki vessel to heed Earth's final warning. In the Antarctic facility, Elena floated in the energy field, her body now half physical, half energy. Through her connection to the Sentinel Array, she could see every Vraki ship, feel the power building around them. "It's not destruction," she said, her voice echoing strangely. "It's displacement." Her father, now fully an energy being, joined her in the field. The Forerunners never believed in needless destruction. Their technology creates doorways between dimensions. Together, father and daughter directed the immense power of the Sentinel Array. The web of energy around the Vraki fleet began to contract, growing brighter. On the flagship, Admiral Xorlath watched in horror as space itself seemed to fold around his vessels. "Full power to engines. Break free," he shouted. But it was too late. In a brilliant flash of light, the entire Vraki fleet, 300 ships carrying thousands of soldiers, simply vanished. Not destroyed, not damaged, but completely removed from our dimension. The whole process took exactly 3 seconds. From the Lunar Command Center, Commander Wade watched in awe as his screen showed empty space where the enemy fleet had been moments before. "What just happened?" his second-in-command asked. "They ignored our final warning," Wade replied quietly. In the Antarctic facility, Elena and her father returned to the main chamber, both now beings of energy and matter combined. Dr. Park and the surviving defenders stared in amazement. "The fleet is gone," Elena explained. "Shifted to a pocket dimension where they can harm no one. They can live out their lives there, but they can never return to threaten other worlds." "A prison rather than an execution," her father added. "Humanity passed the test. We chose containment over destruction." 3 days later, a new ship appeared in Earth's orbit. Unlike the aggressive designs of the Vraki vessels, This one was elegant, almost beautiful. From it came representatives of a dozen different species, the Galactic Council, observers who had been watching Earth for centuries. Their leader, a tall being of light named Zoril, met with Earth's representatives in the Antarctic facility. "You were given Forerunner technology as a test," Zoril explained. "Many species would have used it to conquer. You chose to use it only when threatened, and even then, you chose mercy over destruction. What happens now?" Alina asked, her partially energy form glowing softly. "Now, humanity joins the galactic community," Zoril replied. "Your unique compassion is rare and valuable. The stars await you." From his ship at the edge of the solar system, Trevnar watched as Earth made first contact with the Galactic Council. He was the only Vraki to witness the event, the only one who had listened to the warning. "Next time," he whispered, "perhaps we will learn to listen."